Where is the Divine Mother? As it's become customary here, we will spend a few moments in meditation. I chant a verse and translate it thereafter. Close your eyes, please, and look within. Vidya samasta stava devi bheda striya samasta sakala jagatsu tvayekaya puritadam vayeta kate stuti stavya para paroktihi Sarvabhuta yada devi bhukti mukti pradayini tvam stuta stutaye kava bhavantu paramoktayah. All sciences come from thee, and all women are parts of thee. By thee alone, O Mother, is this universe filled. How can we praise thee? Thou art not beyond everything, even the highest praise. Thou, O Mother, exist in all things and as all things. Being worshipped, thou bestowest heaven and liberation. What words, however sublime, can suffice as thy praise? This verse from the Devi Mahatmyam is the gist of the talk that I will be giving here. Where is the Divine Mother? Where is she? This has been a very ancient search. And when I say Divine Mother, it's the feminine conceptualization of the reality. This question also indicates the search for our origins, the source of creation, which we would like to know. And it is obvious that this search is the driver behind every human activity. We are all, in a way, searching. Searching for what? Searching for the real. That's metaphysically speaking. Some people search for many other things. We also have a very strange idea that's constantly reinforced that this external world is all that there is. And knowing the external world is knowing the reality. Well, it has been tried and tried for thousands of years. And it is known to be like a kind of mirage. What we in Vedanta will say that this external world is experienced in our own consciousness. And Vedanta has been delving into this consciousness to know the root, the origins of both the internal and the external world. Today, even modern science, with all its disciplines, is searching for this answer, and they have also been thrown back into the study of their own consciousness. And this is the background of all scientific search. What is real? What is consciousness? And this is an exciting time because these two streams, mighty streams, the ancient and the modern, are going to mingle. And this search has great implications for humanity. This convergence is what ancient Vedanta had predicted. So we have been looking outside, and it's obvious that our bodies and the senses and the mind are oriented thus to look outside. In fact, one of the Upanishads says, the self existing one destroyed the senses by making them go outwards. A certain rare person desiring immortality turns his eyes inwards and sees that self. So we have been searching for thousands of years what constitutes the external world, what it is made of. And as we know nothing higher than this, because it was a question of survival, we had to know our environment, we had to know what dangers lurk everywhere. Yet, at the same time, these ancients, like us also, understood that though we are endowed with a body, endowed, there is something distinct than the body, which is me. And it is an indubitable, you can say, feeling that I have a body. Nobody says I am a body. They understood that there was an entity or some force that was distinct from the body. You could see this is the basis of the search. And what did they do? They saw the external phenomena, every phenomena, sunrise, sunset, and the dawn. And then you have the hurricanes and the, you can say, storms and the volcanoes and the earthquakes. They understood this phenomena also to be endowed them, like themselves, with a distinct, you can say, entity or soul or something that was different from the phenomena. And this was the beginning of nature worship. That's the beginning worship where humanity took this step. And it's not a few thousand years. Push it back, it could be a few million years. Like we have a body and yet we feel we are separate from the body. So this external world also had a distinct force or entity or soul or whatever you like to do. So nature worship was the first step towards understanding what the reality is. The second thing that they grappled with was death. If we know that we are separate from the body, in a way distinct, what happens to that distinct force or entity or soul when the person dies? And it's obvious that this search also led to what is called ancestor worship. And this is found in all religions, in all cultures, in some form or the other, it has been there. The worship of the spirits. And like we live in a community, for we are social, these distinct entities that had passed away also lived in a community. And they call it the world of the fathers, the happy hunting ground, etc., etc. Pitriloka, the heavens of the fathers. So, ancestor worship was the next thing that took a hold on people's imagination and thoughts. And it's obvious that death was very real to them. And then the rituals pre and post death gradually increased. They, the dead were venerated. And then around these rituals, then they grew up most of the religions that we know. They, they believed that these people were still there. And like they were used to certain things when they were alive, those things were offered to them as a kind of an propitiation. So this, the mythologies grew and grew and grew around these nature worship and ancestor worship, or the worship of the departed. Then came a stage when they saw that there is something called a subtle world. In the dreams, they saw their departed parents or siblings or people they knew. They understood that these departed people, they had something called a dream body in a dream world. It was a subtle world. And this world always interacted with this world. So that's the reason why all this libation and all these rituals grew out of this idea that they did exist, they did kind of live in a kind of a dream-like world. So this dream world was real to them as this waking world. They saw all this and they also saw this side. This was also the beginning of introspection. When we are dreaming, the dream is real. And when we are awake, the dream seems like a fairy tale or unreal, and this world. So these were the two worlds that engaged their imagination. And then they said, they brought higher conception. If you live rightly, then you could easily be happy in this kind of dream subtle world. Then came the codes of ethics and morality that delineated what a person should do and should not do. Again, this was why am I going through all these, you can say, stages? Because it's not only we who are looking out for where is the Divine Mother. Even our ancestors, a great ancestors from where we have descended, have been trying to understand this nature. So, as these gods outside now, as they knew that there was a kind of a dream-like world, subtle world with dream-like bodies, they also understood that this external world of phenomena also had some entities or some force which had distinct personalities. And then the gods and the goddesses began teeming into this every phenomena in the external world. We had a god for the rain, and god of the rivers and the streams and the forest and the trees and the mountains and the lakes. Every phenomena in the external world was endowed with a personality. And these were also worshipped because they saw that there was earthquakes and there was floods. So these forces also had to be propitiated. When people say, oh, they are worshipping a river, they are not worshipping a river per se. They are worshipping that entity that is distinct from the river. As people started searching, they understood that this spirit world interacted very, you can see, in a very connected way, a very intricate way with this external world. So people were always, you can say, mindful about not disturbing these forces of nature and not even angering some of the departed. And how would they contact the people on the other side? So there was this music, and then the dances, and these rituals, and some cultures used psychotropic drugs, and so on and so on. They used to have some incantations and meditations, and they used to raise their mind to a certain level where they could interact. These began to be called shamans or priests or special people with special abilities that acted as a medium to get the messages from that world into this, and to have this world's messages and cares sent over to the other side for protection, etc., etc. Because they knew that the external world also had dangers. There were wild animals, and there were so many kind of dangers outside. So even those forces were propitiated. They were the malevolent forces. So as things kept on growing and growing, the deities started growing in numbers, and as communities began to interact with other communities, sometimes they borrowed each other's deities, and sometimes societies or communities vied with each other. And the loser always thought, oh, our gods were weaker than their gods. Let's incorporate their gods into our pantheon. So pantheons kept on growing. The number of gods and goddesses and everything kept on growing and growing and growing. So this was also then reflected as a hierarchy. As human societies were hierarchical, there was a clan leader or tribal leader or a kind of king. So also the gods were arranged in a kind of pantheon, a structure to give it a kind of a coherence. Generally, the protective forces were feminine, and the masculine forces were the gods of war, etc. So these forces now had distinct personalities, and everything to these early people was sacred. In fact, this is what we have lost down the way. Because this external world is supposed to be exploited, we are exploiting it, we're not caring for it, and the result is today we are dying because of that. If we could have seen, like our ancients, that everything is sacrosanct, it would have raised human spirit and would have saved the environment. We are all talking about climate change and global warming. Blame our beliefs for that. The beliefs that we had discarded down the road. So, as these hierarchies were established, In India, we also had all these rituals. In the earliest hymns of the Vedas, we find both traces of nature worship and ancestor worship also. And it is a record of the earliest stages of religious development. We find that there were some sages who understood there were experiences of the internal world. And they, in front of their old fire sacrifices, they began to start internalizing these external structures. And they found that the internal structures were as solid as the external structures. The ideas of worship from the outside was reflected back inside. And as they kept on deeper and deeper and deeper, initially it was a combination of the both internal and external. In every worship, what's called puja, it's a combination of both internal and external. You cannot discard one for the other. But as the meditations, etc., grew, the internalization of these concepts began growing, they found that this external experience can be discarded because they were of a much lower grade than the internal experiences. This is what is called a tremendous stage in human development, which is reflected in the literature called the Upanishads. These sages plumbed into themselves, and this is what we get, the great doctrine of the Vedanta. Now, these great sages, these rishis, like unlike so many other later developments, they understood that each stage of a human search for the reality were not wrong. And they started that great, you can say, unification. This unification tied heaven and the earth, God and humanity with all life. It unified the past, the present, and the future. It tied, as it were, all the gods, demigods, semigods, all these things together. They tied the internal and the external world together. This was a period of great spiritual development because they had to unify. And this word that comes, the unification, is encapsulated by the word yoga. Yoga means union, unification. They tied up all the different rituals into one, never criticizing. They, with their large hearts, they understood that every step humanity ever took wasn't wrong. It had to be explained. And this was the explanations that they did. They tied everything into a kind of a coherent whole. They tied space and time together. And with all the laws of nature, everything was now explained. There was nothing which was exclusive. They did not exclude anything. They couldn't, because they found that the source is one and it cannot be two sources. The world pays homage to these great sages called rishis and will pay homage to that for this great spiritual and intellectual development that took place during those periods called Upanishads. 3,000 years, 4,000 years old? Yes, even 5,000 years. How far we drifted away from these basic ideas of unity. A branch of this unification also went inside. It tied all the various forces into one. It tied all your thoughts into one. One thought was always unified with the other thoughts. It tied and harmonized our emotions with our intelligence, with everything. Life now was integrated, integrated as the world was integrated. And as these external gods and goddesses and everything was also integrated within, all the various gods and goddesses also integrated within. This became, as I said, the science of yoga. Deeper and deeper and deeper they went. As an aside, what science is trying to do? Trying to tie the big with the small. That's what the whole thing is. And Vedanta succeeded it on the intellectual and the spiritual plane, moral plane. So here was the world united, where now we can understand now the question, where is the Divine Mother? Now let me illustrate it with a small mythological story. The, the, the Lord Vishnu, after he had created this entire world, he was resting because obviously it takes a lot of time and energy to create all this complex world. And as he was resting, he was disturbed by loud noises. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? So he looked around. He saw everything in creation working according to his plan. Some groups of human beings are running hither and thither, shouting, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? So his rest was disturbed. He was slightly irritated, saying, let me go to another place. These guys might come out here to disturb me more. So he goes to another place in heaven, his Vaikuntha, and there also he's again hearing these loud voices. Where is he? Where is he? Search him, catch him, all this. So he goes to the top of the mountains, and there too he keeps on hearing the sounds of people searching for him. He goes down to the bottom of the ocean. There too he hears the sound. He goes to the deserts, he goes to the forest, every hiding place in the world he runs to, and he is being disturbed by some people shouting, where is he? Catch him, let's catch him, let's see him. What is he doing? What is his nature? So as he was trying to run away to another place of hiding, he meets that sage Narada, saying, oh Lord, where are you going to? Saying, you see, everything is working like clockwork in this universe, except these human beings. Some of them have been disturbing me. They, they're trying to find me. And Narada said, I'll give you a nice hiding place. Saying, where is that? Go and reside in their hearts, and you'll be without any bother. So Vishnu, he entered into the hearts of all beings, and he is lying down there, taking a rest, much needed rest. And people are searching, where is he? Where is he? Where is the Divine Mother? Where is the Divine Mother? Where is the Divine Mother? What's that? People, why you have to? As the Bhagavad Gita says, Hamatma Gura Kesha Sarva Bhuta Shayasita. I, as the Atman, am in a sleep mode in all beings. This is the story behind it. One of the stories. So we have been searching. Where is this? Now here it is. God has kind of become a personal, likable, lovable entity, but also people are blaming God also for all the other things also in this world. Vedanta never stopped there. It went further. because the personal God can answer a lot of questions, and yet a lot of questions still remain unanswered. So they had the next conception of higher conception of God or reality was it was universal, that everything in this universe constituted the reality in which God existed. Totapuri was one of the gurus of Sri Ramakrishna, and he, if those who have read the great master will know, he was suffering from colic pain, terrible colic pain. And since he was a knower of Brahman, he could just discard the body if he wished. So one day, when he was trying to meditate and his mind was pulled down by the pain, he got disgusted. Forget it. So he wanted to discard his body. As he waded into the river to immerse it, he kept on wading in the river which is really deep and wide. At that point of time, it was shallow. Water, even in the middle of the river, reached only up to his, you can say, ankles. And he was wondering, there's not even enough water to drown the body. What happened? And as he was walking, he almost saw the other shore of the river, River Ganga. He was in Dakshineshwar. And then the author of the great master says, as if somebody had lifted a veil from his eyes, and he saw the Divine Mother in all creation. And his great words, Jole Ma, Sthole Ma, etc. Mother is in the waters, mother is in the skies, mother is in the trees, mother is everywhere. He saw the universal form of the mother, and his heart was full of joy. He waded back to the bank, sat down for meditation, and he plunged down deep. Mother had shown him her universal form. And Sri Ramakrishna came, and then Totapuri, his guru, told him his experience and asked Sri Ramakrishna to teach him a song on mother. And he kept on singing that song over and over again. What he experienced, what Sri Ramakrishna had experienced, was the universal form. So this is the universal form of the mother. Mother is personal, mother is also universal. She is in all beings. She has become all beings. Sri Ramakrishna says, it is God who has become the universe and all living beings. This is the experience. So where is the Divine Mother? Where is she? Now you know where she is. And yet Mother has a higher transcendental aspect, the impersonal. Sri Ramakrishna saw her as an ocean of light. The same mother, he says, I call Brahman. When it is inactive, it is called Brahman. When it is active, I call that same Brahman as mother. She is Shakti. She is a power behind everything. So this is how and where mother is. There are these great verses. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu ke Nidra Rupena Samsita Buddhi Rupena. That is, O goddess, you are established as sleep in all beings. You are established as intelligence in all beings. You are established as faith. You are established as peace. You are established as modesty. You are established as, you can say, even error. Bhranti Rupena Samsita. Everything in our bodies and in our minds, mother is established herein. Can get. Where are you searching for? What are you searching for? Now the great question comes. Are we searching for the Divine Mother to ask for trinklets? because we always, oh mother, this is where you are. uh, I want some medicine for my stomach ache or my headache. No, that's not the way. Even when you know, now you know what is the divine mother and where she is. What do? One becomes an instrument of this divine mother. This is the best way to know. When you become an instrument of the divine mother, you will know the divine mother. You cannot know her objectively. First, you'll have to understand her subjectively within your own consciousness. Become an instrument for her, and then you will understand what divine mother, where she is. But yet the human heart wants to know, they want to see, where is the divine mother, where is divine mother. So in this age she has graciously come as the holy mother. She is the divine mother. You've been searching for divine mother. Yeah, she is. Here she is. She's been standing there waiting for you and drawing us all to her. If we can understand this, our search ends here. Om, peace, peace, peace. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Those who are still curious can type in the questions here on the Zoom. And you could, and those who are on the YouTube could type in your questions here. I see that there are no questions yet. Yeah, what else? Now that you know where the Divine Mother is and what the Divine Mother is, Mother was just love and compassion. And she herself says, yes, I am that Divine Mother. You have a real mother, she says. Sri Ramakrishna also says, she is Sharda, she is Saraswati. She is the giver of knowledge. She has come down to give knowledge. He also says, she is Lakshmi. She says, I am Kali. There. She is all the facets of all the goddesses and all the gods. And we have a real mother. Okay. So thank you all very much. If there are no questions, we can. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Thank you for joining in. Yeah, the Divine Mother, it's much better to have a God as a mother. And this is the great age for the worship of the Divine Mother. We hope we can give our minds and our hearts to her. And then announcements on the 15th, Thursday, we will celebrate this Holy Mother's worship, a birthday. We'll Pacific time, it's 7 p.m. We start streaming also. Please go to our website or download the link. So Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we will worship Divine Mother on her birthday. That's Friday, as we know, is approaching meditation, class 19. And Sunday, Swami Brahmatmananda, Jim Maharaj, will also speak about a little of Holy Mother. So on the 15th, we have a small worship, we'll have a small reading, and a small talk in celebration of this great mother that we have. Om, peace, peace, peace.